we look at things partially, according to our pleasure or according to our conditioning or according to some idealistic point of view. So we are always looking at things fragmentarily. The politician is only concerned with politics. The economist and so on, the scientist, the businessman, all throughout life it seems to one that one never takes or observes the whole movement of life. First of all, it is important to understand, I think, how the mind creates illusions. Of self-importance, of various types of comforting, safe, at least for the time being, that gives one security. And these bring about a great deal of illusions. Illusions. That is, to look at something with a preconceived idea or belief. So you never really see it actually. And these illusions are created by desire, by satisfaction, by wanting comfort. And most of us are caught in some kind of illusion. The illusion of being or not being, the illusion of power, position, and so on, the whole category of the projections from the center, which is the me. That invariably creates illusion. As we said, illusion means to observe, to see sensuously with a definite conclusion, prejudice, or an idea. That invariably creates illusions. That's clear. An illusory mind, or mind that is caught in illusions, has no order, right? Order can only come about holistically, right? Please see the importance of this. We think order is following a certain pattern, following a certain conclusion, following certain order which you have already established in the past and keep on in that routine. I think order is something entirely different. Order can only come about when there is clarity. Clarity brings order, not the other way around. If you put it the other way around, which is try to seek order, then that becomes mechanistic, naturally. Repetition, a conformity to a pattern which you have established for yourself in the room or outside the room or inside yourself. Order, as we said, can only come about through clarity. Clarity to observe without any distortion. As we went into the other day, very carefully, so I won't go into it again, if you don't mind. Order implies harmony. In daily life, harmony is not an idea, because we are already prisoners of ideas. We are caught in the prison of ideas. And therefore there is no harmony in that. Harmony implies clarity, which is to see things holistically, to see, observe life as a total unitary movement. Right? Can we do this? You understand my question? Can one observe life or observe one's living, which is life, as a total whole movement of life? Not I am a businessman and I am different at home, or I am an artist and I can do the most absurd things, eccentricism, all that follows. This breaking or fragmenting life into various categories. The elite and the non-elite, the worker and the non-worker, the intellectual and the non-intellectual, the romantic, the emotional, the politician, the politics, and which is our whole way of living. Now, can we see how important it is to see this life as a total movement in which everything is included, in which there is no breaking down, as the good and the bad and heaven and hell. Right? So, we are going to talk about something which demands your careful attention. That is, to observe freely, holistically, means there is no fragmentation or direction in observation. Right? There is no freedom when there is direction. When there is direction, there is distortion. It's only when there is complete freedom you can observe holistically. And therefore, in that observation, there is no satisfaction. And therefore there is no illusion. You get it? Step by step we are going to it. The speaker wants to communicate with you whether life is possible, whether it is possible to live a life which is totally holistic, right? Not fragmented. Therefore, no you and me, right? No we and they, my country, your country, my God, your, all that's God, right? Are you doing it? As we are talking, are we together doing it? As I said, we are playing a tremendous game. Therefore, if you don't take your part in it, you're out of the game. If one of the football players doesn't play properly, he goes out. So this is a game in which life is involved, right? Our whole life. Therefore, you have to partake in this game. So we're asking together if it is possible to live a life that is holistic, without any fragmentation. And that fragmentation exists when there is a desire to and satisfy, which creates illusion. Therefore, you're not playing the game. You're out of the game. If you say, I've come here to find, to understand you, the speaker, then you're out of the game. You're not understanding me. You're understanding the whole of human existence, which is you. You are the representative of all humanity. Therefore, you have to take part holistically in the game. Right? Now, is that possible? I say it is possible only when you see exactly what is, right? Without any distortion. If you are angry, see it as it is. Not try to suppress and all the rest of it. When you are jealous, anxiety, suffering, anything, to observe holistically, and that's possible only when you live with suffering completely. Not to go beyond it, not to say comfort, not to escape from it. When you completely, totally live with something, then there is no distortion. Right? And out of that observation holistically comes clarity. Right? Do it. Please do it as we are talking. We want to find the truth of it. Right? The truth of it. Not what you think or what I think. Not what the professionals think, the priests and the psychologists and all the rest of it. And also, I want to find out the truth of this extraordinary state. Together. Please, this is a very serious game we are playing. It's beyond chess, beyond football, beyond everything. It's a game of, we are playing a game with delight, enjoying the game. And therefore, a mind that is eager to find out. Not saying, I must find out because I like to live next life. I'm frightened of death. Therefore, please tell me if there's something more. That's not playing the game. So we are together trying to find out the truth of this thing. To find out the truth, to come upon it, every form of identification must end. Right? Every form of fear. And the desire for comfort. It is that desire for comfort may create illusion. And therefore, when you're caught in that illusion, say, yes, there's a marvelous state after death. So, we are clearing, we are learning how to observe the way of observation, which is holistic, which means there is no fear, there is no desire for comfort, there is no illusion, and therefore the mind is completely free to look. Are we doing this? Which means You have no attachment. Which is enormously difficult. Because I'm attached to my wife, house, ideas, conclusions, and therefore I'm frightened to let go. I'm frightened to be completely alone. We explain that word, alone means all one. So, no attachment of any kind to anything, to ideas, to persons, to a future hope. Please, this, if you are playing the game, this is very, very serious. To your son, to your daughter, to your wife, to your husband. No attachment. Which doesn't mean that you become callous. Attachment means, when there is attachment, there is delusion, illusion. And when there is illusion, there is no clarity. And when there is no clarity, there is no freedom. And therefore no order. So, mind must have no identification with the name, with the form, or with any person, idea, conclusion. Is that possible? And we say, as we said, that does not deny love. On the contrary, when you are attached to a person, there is no love. There is dependence. There is a fear of loneliness, to be left alone in a world where everything is so terribly insecure, both psychologically as well as outwardly. Therefore, desire to be attached to something. As you are listening, if you want to find out what is the truth of death, what's the meaning, the real depth of that extraordinary thing that must happen in life, there must be freedom. And there is no freedom when there is attachment, when there is fear, when there is a desire for comfort. Can you put all that aside? Can you? Otherwise, don't play the game. You can't play the game. A heavily conditioned mind, through education, environment, through culture, through religious sanctions and beliefs and dogmas, rituals, my country, your country, the constant battle, wanting to be happy and being unhappy, depressed and elated, going through anxiety, uncertainty, hate, envy, and the pursuit of pleasure, fear, right? Afraid to be alone, fear of loneliness, old age, disease. This is the truth of our life, daily life, right? And can such a mind, which hasn't put order in this life, order in the sense which comes through clarity and compassion, can such a mind which is so utterly fragmented, disorderly, frightened, can find out what the truth about something else? You follow what I'm... So one must first put order in one's house. The house is burning. And some of us are not aware of it at all. It is actually burning. If you read every day the newspaper, what is happening in every country. So the house, your house and the house of humanity is burning. And we are not doing anything about it. Because we are all concerned with our own immediate security. Right? And when you seek security, for God's sake, you are bringing about total insecurity. So, when you live with your suffering, with your sorrow, with your agony, with your personal, live it completely, not escape from it at all, in any direction. And out of that comes an extraordinary sense of clarity, which we have talked about considerably. And one can only find out the truth of it when there is an ending. Right? Right? When there is an ending to everything that you have. Can you do it? Ending to your attachment. Not giving it a day, but ending it completely now. That's what death means. Can you? So ending, complete ending is, when there is complete ending, there's something new is born. You understand? I wonder if you do. You know, fear is a burden, a terrible burden. And when you remove that burden completely, there's something new takes place. Right? But we are afraid of ending. Ending at the end of one's life. We are saying, end it now. Vous avez compris? You have understood. End it. End your vanity. Because without the ending, there is no beginning. Right? And we are caught in this continuity, never ending. So when there is total, complete, holistic ending, there is something totally new beginning, of which you cannot possibly imagine. It's a totally different dimension. My saying it has no value. But as we are together playing the game, of trying to find out what is the truth of this extraordinary thing called death, to end to one's attachment, to one's fears, to one's vanities, conclusions, neuroticism, to end it. Can you do it? Will you do it? Are you doing it? Not bit by bit. One day attachment, next day fear, third day vanity, fourth anxiety, and so on. To end the whole thing now. That is, to end the content of consciousness, which is our consciousness. The content makes consciousness. The content is fear, attachment, greed, envy, my country, your country, my God, your content. To end all that, not through will. Through will you can never do anything, in the psychological sense. Then if you do it by will, there's conflict. Right? And through conflict, there is no understanding of the depth and the truth of anything.